Ah, the Wii. Such a great console filled with a lot of classic and beloved games like Super Mario Galaxy and Smash Bros. Brawl. The Wii was also known for another thing. A lot of fucking trash! Yes, it's well known by now that the Wii is very infamous for being the haven for a lot of low-effort shovelware titles. These games stink up the bargain bins just for some unaware parent to snatch up the game for their child. Oh, Timmy, you wanted that fancy new Mario Kart game for your birthday? Well, sucks to suck, Timmy. Have some Ninja Bread Man instead. We all once had a game in our Wii library that we got out of nowhere, played once, and never touched it again. This brings me to today's topic and game at hand, Major Minor's Majestic March. Released in 2009, Major Minor's Majestic March is a rhythm game created by Nananananansha. I don't know how the fuck you say it. You might know these guys from making such classic games like Vib Ribbon, Jammer Lammer, and of course, Parappa the Rapper. All these games, while short experiences, were always fun to go through with their cheesy yet catchy music and gameplay. They were the pioneers of rhythm games, you could say. Major Minor, however, was received pretty poorly by critics, and you could probably guess why. A third-party company making a game for the Wii always has some kind of problem behind it. Let's pop this game in and regret our life choices. The game starts off with introducing the titular Major Minor and his dreams of becoming a successful drum major. He doesn't have the talent or the materials needed to become one, so all hope is lost, it seems. Major Minor's friend Tom appears and suggests that he uses his great-grandmother's famous baton. He was hesitant at first because it's a treasured family heirloom, but it doesn't take a ton of convincing for him to use it. They soon find out the baton is magical and is able to spawn musical instruments. Also, the baton seems to be cursed by his grandmother and starts to speak to him. Great-great-grandma Gladiola is not out to consume Major Minor's soul. Instead, she wants to help him and Tom to become a great marching band just like the previous generations before him. That's all there is to the plot, essentially. You just march around different areas collecting more band members and some exposure. There are some stakes to the story, but they're all just minor and don't really affect anything in the long run. Like the Eggplant Fox, who seems to be the main antagonist, but all he does is steal the baton away in one level, and you get it back right after. He also appears in a few levels, but I don't know, he's not really that much of a threat. The story was just basic and safe. There wasn't a whole lot to the characters, and none of them had anything funny to say. Except for this line.
His bubbles turned yellow, so you know that he's suffering.
Definitely a step down from games like Parappa the Rapper with a good amount of characters with their own personalities. But let's be honest, you're just here to watch me suffer play through this game. Well, here we go in the spirit of Quadruple G. March, march, keep on marching, march, march, keep on marching,
Keep on marching!
Like I said before, this is a rhythm game except with everyone's favorite type of control scheme, motion controls. Now other rhythm games like Just Dance have also used motion controls and it worked just fine in those games. You didn't have to be too precise to have fun. Major Minor's Majestic March, on the other hand, is the complete opposite of having a good time. At the start of the game, you're given a tutorial on how to play. Moving the Wiimote up and down lets you march forward in tempo with the music either moving slow, neutral, or fast. You also learn about scouting. Clicking the Wiimote left or right in tempo with the music can help you recruit band members or items to help you keep your band together. You are a marching band after all, so you need to keep everyone happy by marching correctly. If you fumble while marching, and let's be honest, you will, your band members might leave you. You can collect power-ups like suns that will improve your band's move, and candies that will help you get back into tempo. You know, stuff like that. If you do a decent job, you'll be thrown into a minigame they call Drill Mode. Just shake the Wiimote around in the directions they show you on screen. It's not too hard, but you'll be really tired right afterwards. Alright, so how bad are the motion controls really? To be honest with you, they worked fine. I didn't have an issue with inputs with the exception of scouting sometimes, not registering, but overall it seemed to work. The problem with the controls stems with you having to be very precise with your movements. You're even told at the very beginning that you need to hold the controller just right and move it just right. Sounds easy, but with the kind of movements they want you to perform, your arm is going to hurt in about 5 minutes. It's even more frustrating when the tempo changes. The Wiimote will make sounds and beat with the tempo, but this is where I ran into issues. For one, my Wiimote speaker is scuffed, so I only hear the beats sometimes. Even when I was able to hear it, slow movements with the controller was hard to do and never worked correctly a majority of the time. Same with faster movement. It was either I was going a little too fast, or not fast enough. The precision you need to have with this game in order to perform well is ridiculous. It makes playing through it the most uncomfortable experience you'll ever have with motion controls, and by the end of it, my arm felt like it was going to fall off.
Help me.
Yeah, I beat the game in one sitting, clocking in just barely over an hour. Short experience, but very sour. After you beat the game, you can play through on a harder difficulty if you wish. Or you can do what I did instead. There's also a multiplayer mode, but let's be honest, you're not going to find anyone to play this game with you. Just, why would you? No, just don't do it. Just don't. The overall presentation of the game is just okay. It has the Parappa the Rapper look to it, which I do like, but it hasn't aged the best, and it shows here. I think the biggest upset are the cutscenes that are just still images with the narrator reading off the lines. I would have liked to give some points to the game if it actually did have nice cutscenes, but no, we just get barely moving JPEGs instead. The music is fine, just your typical marching band music, nothing that you will really remember. This ain't no Chop Chop Master Onion or Toasty Buns. Those are my fucking jam, dude. Overall, the game was a terrible experience the whole way through. I really did not enjoy a single second playing this game. The controls, while responsive at times, were a pain in the ass to manage due to you having to be very precise in all of your movements. Yet another case of motion controls completely destroying a game. Even if it had normal button controls, it will still just be a mediocre game. Definitely not worth the $5 I spent to play this trash. If you want to shake a long, white object in your hand, just play that one Mario Part 8 minigame.